Mic test. Mic test. Mic test. Mic test. Hello? Mic test.
Come on, man.
How are you?
Mic check, check 1 2, check, check. Yeah. Mic check, check, check.
All right, guys. We come in and have a seat. Can y'all hear me? Hello. All right. Let's get this figured out here. If y'all can come on in and have a seat 6 feet apart. No, just come on in. Yes, colored. Yeah, exactly. Use that. Use this one instead.
It's laying weird on your collar.
All right. Does this sound better for everybody? All right, guys. Hey, welcome to the 2020 season. As crazy as it is, we're going to give it a shot. We're going to try to give you a bunch of information that's going to change next week, but we're going to give it to you, and we'll give it to you again as we get it. So with that, do we have any new members that are already in here? Hey, if you could stand up and just tell us where you're from and your name, I'd appreciate it. Right here. Greg from Overton. All right, appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. Here you go, right here. Dallas from Palestine. Oh, and if you have any experience, your first year? You have any experience? First year? You've been calling? Been long. So you got some experience? Okay. I saw some more over here. Was there some more over here? Right here? Jonathan from Maybank. Any experience? Awesome. Y'all are in for a treat. Just 3 of you. Oh, right here? Clark from Tyler, no experience. That's all right. We need you guys. Anything? Oh, right here. I'm sorry. Clint from Athens, no experience. That's good. That's all right. Hey, guys. This guy, no experience, definitely. Oh. Jack Beavers, 28 years experience from the Commerce chapter. We're proud to have him over here. That it? All right. Hey guys, this year we're going to have to be flexible more than any other year. The schedule has changed like 15 times, and so we're working on it, trying to get that. I know that the sub-varsity stuff's changing, so we can't get you any information really right now on any of the schedules, but I'll get Josh and him to come up here later to give you some information. An update on Greg. He's had surgery again a couple of weeks ago. He had a little bit of difficulties, and so he had to go into a rehab for a couple of weeks, but he's out and back home. And so just continue to keep him in your prayers. So to replace Greg for this year, for the interim, we're going to have Josh Thompson and Larry Clemens are going to tag team it this year to help us out. So if you have any varsity scheduling issues, those are the 2 guys that's going to take care of it. We've lost quite a few members this year. I think about 20 that I know of. So we're going to be stretched thin. So we're going to have to work a lot if we get to work. So be ready to work. Go ahead and start getting prepared. I know I've talked to some people, and they're like, we hadn't even thought about football because we don't think we're going to have it. But, hey, y'all need to start thinking about it because hopefully it's coming, and we need to be prepared and ready to go. We don't want to be caught off guard and then for us to not be prepared after the kids have went through all the junk that they've had to go through, and then for us to not be prepared. So the clinic is online now. If you didn't get to go to the clinic or didn't get to watch the clinic, a couple weeks ago. It is online and available now. We've got some of you I know has already started watching it. You have to have that in and watched before you can get on the field. So, and it takes about 5 to 6 hours this year. So, it's a fun one. What else? Sorry, I've got to stand in the light because we're broadcasting. Anybody have a hat? So, anyway, so I forgot where I was at. Oh, we've lost a lot of members, so we're going to have to step up, get prepared, get ready, start getting in the rule books online. They're all available online. As soon as they send us some, we'll get them out to you guys at the next meeting, if we get them in time. So as soon as we get them, we'll get them to you guys. But we hadn't received them from Tasso yet. So as soon as we do, we'll give them to you guys. Right now, we're going to have Stephen come up real quick, and he's going to discuss about our facilities here and like meeting choices and how to make sure that we're accounted for and all of that kind of stuff. So, Stephen, thank you.
You got me, Kurt. Whoa, I'm loud. Hey, guys, thank y'all for being here. It's awesome that we can open the church up for this. This is probably about the most people we've had in here since March, so it's kind of cool to see. More, we can. We got some offering plates. I mean, we can have church. I've been preaching lately, so I got a sermon. We can go. But I'm just thankful that y'all are here. And we've got a vendor out there you saw. Hopefully y'all can just patronize him. He drove in from Houston today from Officials Gear Outlet, so please support them. Most of you have been here before. Just so you know, restrooms are down this hallway outside the worship center. There's plenty to go. Lots of space, so use that if you need it. Please, no food or drink in here. We do have worship in here, and yeah, no, I saw that. I see that cup. But yeah, if you can keep it clean, it's nice because we do have church, and we don't want to have to clean up big messes after this meeting. Our church loves hosting events like this, but we also like it when the events help take care of themselves as far as clean up when they're done. A couple things. You see up on the screen, there's a QR code. If you open your cell phone camera right now and take a picture with that, it will send you to our YouTube channel. We need to get 100 subscribers to our YouTube channel to allow us to do some different things on our YouTube channel. We have about 17 or 18 people watching the meeting online right now. So our goal is to stream all the meetings this year. But if you would do that, I think we've already got like 35, 36 subscribers in 24 hours. So YouTube just wants you to have 100 before you can do some fun stuff. But if you do that, that'd be helpful. Do you want me to talk about one thing we did, the reason we're here on Tuesday nights is we used to, before, in the past, we've hosted a Bible study of about 500 women here on Monday nights. Well, yesterday afternoon, they canceled their Bible study for the fall semester. So we are starting next week, going to move these meetings to Monday. They'll be just like they were before. We'll be here 6:30 for the general meeting. New guys, you will actually be in a little bit bigger space with a better projector setup behind the metal building, the youth building. It'll give us a little more room to spread out, and it'll give us more options for some breakout spaces as well. So starting next week, we'll be back to Tuesday night or Monday nights, and I will reflect that on the web page this week as well. That's all I got. New stuff is on the webpage. If you have things you think you want on the webpage or things you're missing on the webpage, let me know and I'll put it there. I've got all the mechanics manuals, and for you chain crew guys and clock operators, Tasso has provided a chain crew and clock operator mechanics manual this year. So I haven't looked at it yet, but somebody spent some time on it. So that's all I got.
All right, thanks, Stephen. All right, Mike Jones.
Hi guys, I'm Mike Jones. I'm the treasurer. I'm the guy that you pay if you're not a first year guy. As you've learned in your new member meeting, first year guys, first year means that you did not work football last year or have never ever worked football in the state of Texas. If you're transferring in from the Dallas chapter, San Antonio chapter, you will still owe chapter dues, which are $35. And they start being due tonight, and they must be paid before you go on the field for a scrimmage. So you can mail it to me. I'm an Arbiter. My address is on there. Make the check out to Tyler Chapter. But if you're a new guy, the chapter picks up the tab for you. You have to go to tasso.org and register there. Tasso will do a background check. You have to check the box that allows them to do that. Now, just because you've gone to tasso.org and you've paid your fee for whatever that is, I forget what it is, that doesn't mean you're a member of Tasso. They will run you through that background check first. If you don't hear from them for a few days, maybe you need to go tell your wife why that Tasso's not passing you on your background check. But they won't notify us and let us put you in Arbiter until you have passed that background check. So it doesn't do any good to call me 20 times a day and ask me why you're not in Arbiter. Only when Tasso passes you will they send Chad and somebody else an email that says you've passed. They'll send it to me. I'll put you in Arbiter. Now, what's Arbiter? Arbiter is our online scheduling mechanism. If you're not an Arbiter, you're not going to get a single email. You're not going to get assigned to a game. You're not going to know anybody else's name or phone number. So that's what Arbiter is. So until I put you in there, you can't do any of the things that we need to do. So if you've decided tonight as a new member that I want to be a football official and I really want to do this, you need to go ahead and bite the bullet and sign up with tasso.org and pay that money. It's all online, has to be a credit card, and they'll start that process. The longer you wait, you can imagine there's football officials all across the state of Texas doing the very same thing. And they're going to be busy, so they may not get to you right away, which means we won't get to you right away. So as soon as you want to pull the trigger and do that, the sooner that you'll get approved by Tasso and put in Arbiter. I have a new member transfer form. So if you're a brand new member, you need to get this form from me and fill it out. Across the bottom is tons of information you're going to need that you can't get anywhere else because you're not in Arbiter. Take a picture of it with your phone. Then give me back the form. If you're a transferring member that worked somewhere else last year, I still need this form filled out, and you need to take the same picture. Right before we walked in here tonight, Larry Langford, who was one of our members for many years, was in East Texas chapter for many years. Larry and I correspond about his health, so it's okay if you guys who are crazy about HIPAA, don't let this offend you. Larry had to have a lung transplant, so obviously he hadn't been officiating for a few years, but he wants to stay involved. And I want to read you what he says. He says, "Please let everyone know, after 7 months of being in Houston, I finally made it home this last Wednesday, and I'm feeling great and I'm doing good. I'm staying in and staying away from everyone, so please tell everybody tonight thank you for all the help they've given." I think there was a GoFundMe account for him, and through all the prayers. And he says, "Hope to see you all again soon." Along with some of the lung problems, Larry also had some heart issues that they discovered along with the lung thing. So Larry's been really sick and spending more time in Houston than he does at his home. So we want to certainly keep Larry in our prayers, as well as we do Greg and anybody else that we know about. I mean, we're getting older, and that's beginning to show a little bit. You can mail me the money that we talked about. You can give me cash or a check. It's not a big deal. If you don't have it tonight, it's fine. I was doing something when Stephen was talking a while ago. Are we meeting on Monday night next week? Okay. Because I was about to tell you that I have a city council meeting next week and was not going to be here, but I can be here on Monday. So that's why we moved it. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. That was mighty nice of you. But I will be here next week, so just bring me a check next week. If you have any questions, my information is on there. Feel free to call me, and we'll get that worked out. Does anybody have a general question for me? Great. Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks, Mike. Now we're going to have Josh Thompson come up and kind of give us an overview of what he's been up to and just things that he's working on.
All right, guys. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that movie that came out back in like 1995, 1996, something like that. Apollo 13. It was about the real life trip on Apollo 13, and one of the backup crew members got promoted to the prime crew and had to go fly on that mission. And towards the end of that movie, there's like a little conversation that takes place after that backup crew member got the command module fired back up, and he tells the guy who was supposed to be flying, he says, "I wish you were up here to see this." And the guy responds, "I bet you do." And I mean, it was a disastrous flight. And so I kind of thought about that movie a little bit in this situation. Larry and I, under the situation, we're proud to step up and take over this role for the year. But by no means do we certainly wish Greg were in this spot. And just a couple items I want to share is that I know we all have questions about the schedule, and I have questions about the schedule. I have continuing questions. I left my desk yesterday at 4 o'clock to drive up to meet with Larry we ended up meeting for about 4 hours. From the time I left my desk to the time I got to Larry's office, the schedule had changed again. And so we had a school that completely scratched their schedule, and their district just split in two, and now they're going to play a round robin and then decide the last 4 games. They're going to play some games, and that's who's going to go to the playoffs, whoever wins those games. And so it's a crazy mess. We even got schedules sent to us today, and so we really are working hard to try to get this schedule correct. And as soon as we have a schedule that we believe is not going to have major changes to it, we're going to publish that and get that out and get that to you just as fast as we can. But the delay of the 6A and 5As mixed with the 4As and below starting on time has caused a lot of havoc on the schedule. The next thing I wanted to share is that the test is now available on TASSO's website. And so I want to encourage you guys to get online and go ahead and take the test. Many of you have already taken the test. Several of you guys have told me what your score is. And so you just need to make over a 70 or above to be eligible for varsity games. And then you need to make at least an 80 to be eligible for playoffs. And so be sure you get that test done before the season starts. So you got about 24 days to get that test done. And then another thing I want to share, we've mentioned it before, but I want to tell you where you can go. We do not have the rule books, but if you will go to Google, and if you'll type in CFO NCAA rule book, you can go, the first place there, you can click on that and you can get a copy of the rule book, and it's free. It's a digital copy. And so you can get in the rule book and you can be studying the 2020 rule book, but it's just going to be in a digital format. Also going along with that is that we can all log into our Hudl account and we can all see our film from last year. And so the two things that we really need to be doing is we need to be in our rule books, and we also need to be looking at our Hudl film for those of us who worked last year and watching our game film to be on top of things so we're ready to go in 24 days. We're looking at only having 1 week of scrimmages. Those scrimmages have been moved to the 21st, and so we're going to try to do our same thing where we have the pool and cycle through it to get our scrimmages assigned that way. But we are only going to have 1 week of scrimmages on the 21st. And so we're going to be getting that to you guys here pretty quickly. I think that's really all I have. I do want to mention this, is that Larry really wanted to be here tonight. His son is in the military, is going to be deployed to Italy. And so as a result of that, if Larry wants to be around his son in the in-between time of his son going to Italy, he really needs to limit his time of being in large groups. And so that's why he's not here tonight. But he will be starting to come to the meetings as soon as that works itself out. So that's all I have tonight.
All right, just to piggyback off of that the way that we're trying to structure this is that if you were selected and drafted for that game, 4A and below, that takes precedence right now, right? And we've talked about it, a few of the board members, that we're going to try to honor the games that didn't change first, and then try to get the 5A, 6A to, if there's a conflict, because we have a few of them where the same crew's working twice is supposed to be working twice that week. We're trying to see if the other school will change to a Thursday or a Saturday. So if you were selected for that game, we're trying to keep you in that game. We're not trying to give another game to another crew that may be open that week because of all of the changes. If you were drafted for that game, you're going to keep that game. So any questions about any of that? Correct, yes. Yes, yes. If we're able to keep you the same with the TAPS. So if yes. What he was saying is that some schools aren't playing each other now. And so if the home school selected a crew, we're trying to keep that crew in that game so they're not losing a game. So we're trying to keep everybody, as many games as you got selected. And then we've got a couple of crews that have dissolved, I guess, and we're having to piece together a couple of crews. We got some guys stepping up to take over to where we're not going to be short as far as the crews. And so we've got that situation going on. So any questions about the draft or any of those kind of game situations that we make it answer? No? All right. This year going to games is going to be a little bit different. We've already been told, I've been told by a couple of guys here that the school district is going to require you to electronically sign a release form that you don't have fever and you hadn't had a headache and all that before you can even get on their field electronically. So there's going to be things that we're going to learn through this that you're going to have to be flexible and just take care of if you want to get on their field. TASO is telling us that we have to abide by whatever the school district's requirements are. So some school districts may not give us a dressing room. We're trying to contact them all to see which school districts are doing what. And so as soon as we have kind of some information, we're going to put that in some kind of an email or something to get with you guys. So you know that if you're going to go to Brownsboro, they're not going to offer a changing or a official's locker room. You need to go dressed. And so we're just going to have to figure it out this year. So as soon as we know more information, we're going to get it to you guys. But right now, they're just really no information, except that be flexible and do whatever we ask you to do. So, Lance, while he's coming up, we've got 4 new guys or 5 new guys this year. He's got in contact with a few more that's going to be coming in. So we're trying to introduce you guys to those guys as they come. Hopefully we'll have some Thursday games to where we can train us, me, and then the new guys also. What else? I don't know if you can see him. He's in a kind of dull shirt.
So they mentioned that the test is online now, ready to be taken. Same stipulations that have always applied. You have to make a 70 to call a Friday night regular season game. You have to make an 80 to call a playoff game. New members, it's a little different for you guys. There's a new members test that will allow you to call sub-varsity games. But if you want to get on a Friday night football field, you have to pass the general test also. How many of us did the live clinic? Good job. I'm a slacker. I still got to do it. If you did not, it is now posted is that right, Brad? You already started taking it, correct? Okay. And he said it's a great presentation. It's 6 hours long, and you have to hit the play button every 5 minutes. So if you haven't done it, which I'm one of them, we were playing baseball with my son that weekend, so I didn't get to do it either, so I've got to do it also. You need to log on, pay for it, and it is 6 hours long, and you have to hit that play button every 5 minutes. So if you have not done it, get started now. Yes? You don't have to do it all at one time. You can break it up, come back to it. But it does have to be done. We have to get our educational points, just like attending a clinic, a regional clinic, state meeting. You still have to do that, and we still have to pass a test. Okay? The rule changes this year were not huge. I'll do a presentation next week on them. It wasn't a whole lot of big ones. I'd say probably the biggest one's the defensive substitution's now going to be a live ball foul instead of a dead ball foul, and we'll talk more about that next week. Really, guys, that's all I have from this meeting here. The new members, guys, I can't tell you how important it is. Chad mentioned it earlier that we're losing officials. For whatever reason, we're losing officials. So if you know if you know a person that is interested, halfway interested, have a buddy, have a friend, a brother, cousin, I don't care, bring them in, okay? This year is going to be like no other we've ever seen before, guys, okay? And I've talked to a lot of officials, my crew also. You know, there's a lot of officials out there right now that are just, football's it's on a back burner now because we haven't had any normalcy in 6 months, right? So you're not worried about it. But come August 27th, 28th, if you've got a 4A or below football game, you got to call a football game. So we need to be prepared. Crew chiefs, because we haven't been able to do clinics, state meetings. Guys, I'm encouraging the crew chiefs, get your crews involved, okay? Weekly tests, questions of the week, text messages, film review, whatever it is, get your crew involved, start talking football, start thinking about football, because believe it or not, I mean, I expect us to at least start this season, okay? So we all need to be prepared to start this season. How far we go, that's yet to be determined. But I really feel like we are going to start this football season, okay? So we need to be prepared just like the kids and the coaches are being prepared, okay? Any questions for me? Sweet. Yes. Yes, sir. We are, as a board, yeah, he asked if we are going to enforce the CDC guidelines or if we're just going to do, I believe he said, each man for his own. As a board, what we've discussed is following what TASO has provided to us, as well as the UIL, what they are allowing us to do and not allowing us to do. That's kind of what we discussed at this point. Bobby mentioned that the district director position for District 10 is up for election this year, which is Patrick Smith. He's our district representative. I'm sorry? He'll be here. Yes, he'll be here next Monday also. His position is up. If you are interested in running for that position, I believe you have to sign up before September 1st. Is that correct? I'll double check all that, but I believe that's correct. The schedules are so much up in the air right now, and they're changing every single day. You know, typically we have a film review committee that we put together with a bunch of college officials that review films, and I've usually already got that out. So that film, my committee usually already knows exactly what crew and what week they're evaluating and reviewing which game. But because these games are changing every single day, I'm not able to do that because I still don't know. I don't know if I've got a week 2 game yet or a week 3 game yet, okay? And there's some crews that may not have a game until week 5. So we're trying to figure that out, and once we get that pushed through and get that nailed down, we'll fall back in the line on the film review. Huddle still works, guys. You can still review all your films from last year. Get together with your crew, talk about them, start talking about football, be ready for some football, because I really feel like we will play at least 1 week. Just being honest. So let's not screw that 1 week up, okay? That may be your one shot. So, all right. Go, Chad.
All right, thanks, Lance. Other than that, we're just going to keep it open for any questions that y'all may have that we may not know the answer to if you ask. So if you can think of something that you want to ask that has to do with anything that we're going through, now's the time. If you want to do it now publicly, for everybody to hear, or if you want to wait, do it afterwards. So we're trying to give you as much information that's been given to us. And so we hadn't sent out a lot because there hadn't a whole lot been sent to us except there's no answers. So any questions? Okay, the question is we have got some crews that are dissolving and changing up, and so how do they find out or get put on a list, I guess, is what you're asking? If people want to be on a crew or not. So if you're wanting, or if you're not on a crew right now and you want to try to get on a crew, send Josh an email is the quickest way. And then as people that are looking for people, normally they'll contact Josh and say, hey, who's available? And Josh can say, well, we've got these, 30 people. This guy lives in the eastern part. This guy lives in the western, whatever. So if you're not on a crew and you'd like to be on a crew, send an email to Josh so he can develop. We've sent out a list to a lot of the crew chiefs that were looking for somebody that weren't on a crew. But we've had a few more straggle in that's come into the chapter. And so, if you asked about that early on, you won't have the last, 3 or 4 guys that's transferred into our chapter. But if you want to be considered, get it to Josh, maybe with a brief scenario, I've worked line judge side, whatever, maybe give a little bit of information to him so he can relay it to the crew chief or whoever's looking for a spot. Because we do have 3 or 4 or 5 openings, scattered throughout the crews this year right now from just people having to step down. So, any other questions? Man, y'all are easy. Oh, wait.
That's right. Hey, look around, guys. We have a good group tonight, and for those of you watching online, your board has not been able to meet, so we've been having Zoom meetings. So this is the first time since last season that we've actually seen each other. Now, let me tell you what a challenge is that you might not think about. Besides having Josh and Larry in an unfamiliar spot, we really don't know who's going to work this year, and that's terrible when you try to make a schedule, especially on Thursday night. And you've assigned somebody and you send it out in Arbiter. They may or may not answer because not everybody always answers. Well, you get to your first game site and realize that there's 2 of you or there's 1 of you because Joe and Frank decided not to work, but they didn't tell anybody. So we've got about 175 members in our chapter right now. And that, that fluctuates a little, and that's not counting you new guys that are here tonight. This is our members that we know about. So if you're hearing me talk or you're somebody who knows, if you are not going to work this year for whatever reason, and that's up to you and that's fine, please tell us. If you're sitting at home or you're in this room and you know that, hey, my buddy who is not on a crew, but he's out there and worked 3 or 4 games last year, if he's not going to come back, please tell us that either. Don't assume that we know. Because the time that we know, when a schedule's been made and that guy doesn't show up, and that's terrible. But there's no way to make contact with 170 guys to know that one guy's not going to show up. So please, if you know any of that, please let us know. Send us an email, tell us not, call us, doesn't matter, just let us know. And if your friend's in that shape too, have him let us know. Okay? That would really be helpful. Thanks.
Anything else? Yes. I'm sorry? Whenever they get them to us, but you can get them online. Oh, as soon as we get rule books, we'll get them to you guys. And so the production line is out. The check's in the mail. So they were on back order from whoever their publisher is because of people not showing up to work or something, and so that's why they're telling us that we hadn't got them yet. Is there a question over here? No? Hey guys, while you've got a little bit of time, get with your crews that are, if your guys are here, get with them, spend a little time with them, challenge them to bring up a football question this next week, and y'all text about it, think about it. If you think of something, contact me, Josh, Mike, whoever. Contact us, and we'll give you all the information we know about. Get with Mike if you need to pay your dues. Anything else? Thanks for the people watching online. Mail your dues in. All right? If that's it, we're dismissed. Oh, buy something from the vendor out here. He drove from Houston. Thanks.